Hello and welcome back to Dark Souls 2. So, we are still in the Forest of Fallen Giants, this time in the Bastion. Currently at the Cardinal Tower, and today we are going to do the rest of this area, or most of it at least. There are two areas that I'm not tackling. One is past the King's Door. Where that is, I will show you in some time. And the other one is the cave with the fire lizards. Or maybe I'm showing this because no, I don't know. Can I approach this area from down here, or do I need the key slash the ability to jump down the hole without dying? Well, not my problem right now. So last time I ended the what? Analysis? I don't know. There's something over here. The walkthrough, I guess. And I have to correct myself with a certain thing that I said last episode. At the end. And I guess I have to correct myself what I said about every single castle or fort in Elden Ring as well. Which is not good, but well. Because I've actually looked at some castles because I was kind of confused about they've done this now, like I'm talking about crenellations plus arrow slits at the same castle. And let's see, do we are there better examples that are actually accessible? Maybe later. But I have to correct myself with that, because there are actually castles with crenellations and arrow slits on the same structure. Like this, for example. I think the arrow slits are too big though. They should be smaller to decrease the chance of getting hit, but I'm going to talk about this a bit later. Maybe when we are at the location where we meet the pursuer again. Maybe that's a good spot. I hope there are some crenellations that are close by. But let's continue here through the rest of the level, because it's not so much to go through anymore. There are quite a few things that I can talk about here. Last time I talked about this awesome shortcut. I really like the idea of destroying the environment in order to open up a shortcut instead of just, oh, I opened this door from the other side. That's quite unique. Well, maybe not so unique, but it's a more believable way than, oh, I can't access this door because you can only open it from the other side for some reason. Even though this is not a prison or something. Who knows? This is a weird thing here. Really weird thing, right? This part in particular, because you have a staircase down here, then you have this platform. Apparently there was a wall here that got destroyed. Apparently the ladder was here from the beginning or not, who cares? But there is a weird staircase leading up this way here. Like, there's a staircase leading to nothing, just a blank wall. Or maybe it is leading to this ladder. Why do you build a staircase for a ladder? So that the ladder isn't as long? Why not just build the staircase, like, have a corner here and then start building the staircase from the corner down there up to this staircase over there? Why do you even have this middle area here? That's kind of weird. Because again, staircases are easier to traverse than a ladder. And of course, if you have multiple people, then it's easier to, like, you have to go up the ladder one by one, and you can't carry that heavy stuff up there, like boxes and barrels full of gunpowder, whatever. You can't carry it up here. You have to do it with a lift or something. It's weird. It's just weird. Then here we have a trap. A trap that likes to blow up these explosive barrels over there. And then there are a bunch of soldiers that rush out once they shoot once. And this is a bit of storytelling, I'd assume. Because this room got broken into. This doesn't look like a natural doorway. It's definitely a destroyed wall. And what this room tells me, well, maybe it's wrong, but the soldiers, first of all, the attack, there was a battle here, giants versus regular soldiers like these, right? So a giant probably destroyed the wall over here, and then the soldiers seek refuge here, and with all these ballistas they have a natural choke point to bombard giants that want to come in. That would be the story behind these things, at least the storytelling. If this is the truth, who knows, I don't. But it's, for me, it's very clear. But other than that, this room shouldn't really exist. Because as we just said, this doesn't look like a natural doorway. It doesn't look like there was a door. But there should have been a door. But it doesn't look like there was a door. There's no wood lying around. This wood here probably came from the exploding barrels over there, I think. But there's no indication that there was a door over here, I think. Like, again, raised over here, so how are you supposed to get access to this room? Let's see, there is no door on this floor. Let's drop down one floor. There's a door over here. How we can open it is a bit strange, but I kind of like it. And we have a single chest in the middle here. Then of course there... let me just use this Ferrous lockstone mechanic. It is rather strange. Strangely all around this place, but you put a lockstone in, then it reveals a hidden room with chests inside. Let's see what's in these chests. This room looks strange, by the way. Chlorine, pretty nice. But look at this, like, there's the secret door, fine. Why is this wall slanted? Like, why is it not like in a 90 degrees angle here? Why? So these two chests have more room? It's kind of weird. And a titanite slab, so this room is pretty good. A pretty good room for gameplay purposes. And this chest is trapped. Let's see which trap do we have here. Poison trap, easily roll away once you can. If it's a dart trap, like a crossbow, like white smoke and then the crossbow starting to shoot, you just roll into this direction over here and you're safe. This is my tip for the arrow trap, or you can just block the arrows. If you have enough stamina, you can just block them. Then, let's see. Does not open from this side. For some reason, it does not open from this side. For me, the easiest way always is to perform a jump attack, like so. Because there are enemies inside, they hear the noise, and they will open the door for you. That's the only way. You need the enemies inside to open this door for you. I think this is sadly just a one-time thing. I can't remember if there is another place where a mechanic like this comes into place, but at least they experimented with it. And here we have another pointless room, pointless empty room just with a chest. Filled with a chest and a life ring, large titanite shard. At least we're getting some upgrade materials here, but there is no door either. As you can see, there's nothing here, so either there is somewhere over here another hidden door that we just can't open for some reason, or there really was, this was the entrance, somehow there was a door here even though it doesn't look like it, or there was no entrance and there was no way of getting inside here, which is a bit odd, to say the least. Then we have this weird gate here. A unique gate, to be quite frank, like, and Pate sitting here. And Pate has the old movement model. We will see this in a short time. But let's talk to Pate first.
Hello there. Traveling all alone in these treacherous times. Well, I hope you have a very good reason. Oh, hogwash. Who am I to judge? My name is Pate. I journey hither and thither on a sort of treasure hunt, you might call it. Be careful out there. There's talk of unsavory bandits who prey upon travelers like yourself. Oh yes, you be cautious if you go any farther. There's treasure in there for certain, but the entrance locks from behind. I saw the same design earlier, and it's the same contraption, I'm sure. I was with this warrior, you see, and he insisted that he go inside first. The rather brusque fellow tried to swipe the loot for himself, but it trapped him inside. I still have the gent's ring. I do hope he wasn't harmed. I'll leave this one to you. I'm worried about what might be inside. I'll leave this.
Okay. So the first glance, this is like, oh thanks, this one will close once you go in, and then there might be some treasure inside, but also enemies. So this is exactly what happens. There are enemies inside, there's some treasure inside, and this gate will lock. Whether or not he locks the gate is quite uncertain, but he probably lets it fall somehow. His pose is a bit strange, because it's rather unique that you see an NPC snuggle with his weapon here. He has this fairly long spear. And yeah, we don't see that very often, that the weapon itself is a physical object that can be moved by the movements of the character. I'm talking in terms of NPC interactions with the environment. Because as you can see, the spear moves right now. I don't think... Well, maybe it is. Oh, who knows? That doesn't matter, but... we will have to talk about him and this other fella that he was talking about later on, once we meet the other guy, actually. So let's go and get trapped here. Because if we go in... Come on. Yeah, it closes. And enemies will come out. Quite a few enemies. Like, I think these are called infantrymen or something. The three ones with the gambeson, I think it's called. And then, what are the other soldiers? Just like regular soldiers, whatever. Aren't infantrymen also soldiers? Oh, who knows? Let's have a look at what this area actually is, because it makes no sense again. Here we have a building without a door. Or is there a door to the side? Maybe there's no... Oh, no door. Very small windows on top, so it's a two-story building, probably. Otherwise, how do you get to these windows? Leaning to a tower-ish piece here. And there's nothing, just a bunch of rubble, but there's no way of getting into that house. Sadly, there is no door here. At least put a door there that the player can't open. Another question for me is, why is this one raised here? have a staircase raised, so it makes things a bit harder to carry inside. Then here's just an empty tunnel with some items. Another staircase. Here's a hidden path, by the way. You approach these illusory walls, not like in Dark Souls 1, where you can hit them or roll into them or do something that collides with them. Here you need to press your confirm key, A, for example, or in my case, X, because I'm using a PS4 controller. And then here we have a sorcerer's staff and amber herbs. So I think in the normal version of Dark Souls 2, like the not Scholar of the First Sin version, there are some soldiers on the staircase right here. But in this version, for some reason, there are not. There's nothing. And now we're on the wall. So that's quite interesting. We have a gate down there. And then you have to go all around to gain access to this inside wall. Of course it got destroyed over here, so we actually can't get over from here to the other side. Just short of reaching this area. We can drop down to Pate, say hello. Let's talk to him.
Well, I see you managed to escape.
Yes.
I hope that brave warrior didn't come a cropper either. Be careful out there. There's talk of unsavory bandits who prey upon travelers.
We already said that.
Oh. But you should take this.
Sure. White Sign Soapstone.
It allows undead to call out for help to one another across the fissures between worlds. With luck, somebody will lend you a hand. Well,
Still such a strange mechanic with the soapstones. It makes sense to connect to other players, but does it make sense to connect to NPCs? Like him? Because you can't summon him as a phantom. So does it mean there is... Or does it mean that our two worlds, like Pate's world and my world, are currently colliding, but not all the time? Is that the case, or what's going on here? That's kind of weird, if you think too hard about it, I think. And there's probably not a good reason. Yeah, some two hollows throwing bombs out here. Nothing new. Enemy sitting here, just get rid of him. And this is a bit of lore. There's a giant, well, there was a giant that died here. When giants die, they turn into trees. And these soldiers, because they're hollow, but they still keep some of their mannerisms, I guess, and their habits. There's still a bit of humanity in them, and the last thing they did was fighting the giants, so they're still fighting the giants. We can examine, but nothing happens. And this giant is an item, and that's it for this area. Again, fairly empty area here, seemingly nonsensical, just some benches, just empty space. Just looks like this area, this whole area looks like we have storage spaces in weird places and in weird orders. That's it, that's the whole fort. There are no living quarters, there's no kitchen, there's nothing here, like, it's just empty rooms. Just empty rooms, it feels like. Kind of a mood shift here, right? With the, like, grayish... Oh, wait, I'm not finished here yet. Let's climb up this ladder that got placed here after, probably after this piece of wall here got destroyed. Actually a nice piece of wall. I would just kind of wish they had crenellations here, where there are a few parts that are still a bit lower, so you can shoot inside. If the enemy's inside, you want to... that's why you want to have crenellations facing in and outwards of your castle in certain areas, because when the enemy actually gets inside, you can create a kill box of some sort, right? Let's say the enemies have to come from down there, and they have to go underneath your part, and then they're coming out of there. You can still station your soldiers up here and shoot down on the enemies, even if they're already inside the castle. The battle isn't lost just because the enemies are in your castle. You can still defend it. Well, it depends on the layout of your castle, of course, but these are like the basics, so to speak. But here we have a strange thing, just a shadow sitting around. I don't know if this is a bug or if this is intentional, but there's someone sitting here, and if you hit them, if I actually manage to hit them, I can see it's just a player character that dies and it drops as smooth and silky stone. Weird. Weird design. Weird enemy type. If this is even... if you can even consider this an enemy, because they are not attacking. I don't know if you can kick them so that they stand up and then like kick them without damaging them. And then they're standing up and you can see them. I must try this the next time. Again, a weird room here. Destroyed wall. Clearly destroyed. No entrance. And then you have arrow slits facing inside, which is fine if they were a bit lower, so that you can shoot down and not just straight ahead. I can just barely... not very well designed, to be honest. And then just an empty room with a chest inside. How are you supposed to get in here if these holes in the wall weren't there? There's no door, there's no ladder, there's no indicator that this is... like... this is also broken. Just broken. It's just an empty space with a chest. Who designed this one? Like... was there an intention? Like... there was no intent to make this thing realistic. And this is what's bothering me. Because it just feels like a level that is there to be a level and not to tell a story or to be somewhat realistic. And this is immersion breaking, I think, at least. Like, why do these things exist? The answer is so the player can walk through them. Lazy rubble that is not even like... if you're placing something in the way of the player, then make it big so that you can't even squeeze through there. Make this whole thing collapse so that there is no way of getting through there. I can climb over this. That's no problem. Come on. Like, come on. What the fuck are you doing? Again, what is this platform here for? What is this area for? There's nothing here. It's so that we can place a corpse here, of course. Duh. Then a quite nice looking hallway, big hallway. And we can see they had arrow slits facing the sea, so they're defending this this strange coastline. Why is it strange? Because you can see all these rock formations here, right? No ship would come here from that side. You can't even dock here. These stones down there are a perfect defense against ships coming from that side. I would say. Are there cannons in this game? Do they have cannons on their ships already, or is this a... Well, I guess giants can throw fireballs, they don't need cannons for that, so... And you could put a ballista here, I guess. But who in their right mind would sail through here and try to invade from this side specifically? Maybe there are some other sides that are more... more vulnerable, but this doesn't seem so vulnerable. I guess I can't open this, I don't have the key for that. Yeah, right. What? Where's he running to? He's just bolting out of here. I don't deal with that. Small little ambush with Turtle Man. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle dude. And this is a collapsed staircase. Yes, I can probably climb up here, but there's no way that I can get through there. This is realistic. This is fine. This amount of collapsed whatever is fine. I'm not going through there. That's not immersion breaking, that's fine. This is cool, but so strange. And of course, ambush time. I want to talk about this weird sword here. Because where is it from? It's probably from one of these bigger statues, right? You have these statues here. Oh, it's his sword. Look, it's his sword. But who or what was strong enough to lift up this sword and plunge it into this building? Because remember, this is the hilt, there's the hand, it belongs to this part there, like to this hand, and then if you have a look at the other statue, it's supposed to stick in the water. Who lifted up this hand and stuck it in here? Like, this beast that must have done this must have been like huge. Like extremely huge, not giant huge, like the giants here. Much bigger, like 4, 5, 6, 7 times of the size of a giant. So this is unrealistic. Who did this? Looks cool though, but who did this? What monstrosity could have done that? Because this is stone, right? So if there's an explosion down there, that wouldn't even work. Like, with an explosion, this would just crumble, right? It's somehow this sword managed to go from going vertically like that one to horizontally like this one here. Holy shit. Must have been a big fella. Let's go through here. More torches that we can light. We have this elevator in the middle. Strangely enough, I've talked about this space there last episode, so might want to watch that. Some fire arrows over here, and finally we can open this door where there was no way that we could open this from the other side, even though there are gaps in between that are so huge that you can easily just reach through the gaps. And I don't know how we open this. There is no handle or something. How did we open it? Who knows? I don't. So weird. So weird. Some collapsed stuff. And thank you. Finally, there is a door that because there is a door, that means there's something behind this door. But the level, it's the end of the level here, we can't go through that door. But that's fine, just put a bunch of doors everywhere where it might make sense. Then it's fine. Board them up or something so that the player can't go through, and it is cool, but don't leave shit empty like this. It feels weird. But let's go and face the first boss here. And, right, I think I'm able to summon more than one NPC here. I should be able to summon Pate and Luette. Yeah, they're here. Great. So, this is Pate's summon sign, and Pate has the old character model and character rigging system, whatever, I don't know. I call it the old character model. Because look how he's moving. He was once he once had the same model as the player. But then somewhere in development they changed how the player walks and moves and attacks. But look at I don't want him to vanish. I want to move a bit. Look, I can't do these movements. Like, my walking cycle looks completely different than his. He's faster than me, but looks faster. His movements are completely different. And then there's another NPC that is a modern NPC, so to speak. Sellsword Luette, and that's a female character, by the way. Excuse me. And she has the new character model that we can all play. And she has two shields and the ring that she draws more aggro. Let's face the first boss here. Or technically the second one. I don't know what this weird bloodshot eye effect is supposed to be. It looks weird. Otherwise, the cutscene was quite nice, I guess. So yeah, I think... No, Pate... Look at the attacks of Pate. First of all, he's missing all the time, but his attacks are totally different. His character rigging or whatever, his animations are totally different to mine, even though he's supposed to be a player character. Player character model, whatever. Of course, he's dealing no damage. Oh, we can't see the boss, the health bar, but let's just get rid of the boss. Well, maybe let's have a first look at the boss, because it's just a regular giant. All the giants in this game have holes in their faces for some reason, and this one is impaled by weapons and a big ass rock. Whoever plunged that one in him, who knows? And he's shackled, so he got imprisoned after his defeat. Because he was once part of the invasion. Halfway through, he rips out his arm and uses it as a weapon. Apparently giants can do that just fine. They can just rip out their limbs. We got the Soul of the Dust Giant, which is technically a boss that our player character has already fought. And we haven't fought him yet, but we have. We did that in the past. And we will also do it in the future past, or past future, whatever. If this is a bit confusing, we have to advance to see the memories, because we were present in these memories, and there's a turtle guy riding the other side of the elevator up and down. Who cares about him? I don't. So this was boss number 1. Now we should be able to open some doors here. Let's start with this door over... Oh, hello? Right, there are enemies here. Where's the other one? Oh, there he is. Hello, good sir. Go to sleep. I've talked about this room. Why are there arrow slits here? How are you supposed to get there? Makes no sense. Just put normal windows there. I've missed them last time. But now this way opens up because we got a key. There's a chest here of a ring that I should like, but for some reason I never used this one, or it got taken out as soon as I had other rings, because this restores HP, and usually I like regeneration builds, but it never kicked in really. I think the regeneration is just a bit too low for that. Chlorine Theoring is always nice, more stamina recovery. I'm not putting them on right now because they create this weird ass aura, and I don't like it. I don't like the aura. Same with the regen ring, the aura just looks different. And then we have this place here, with a King's Door and a Cyan Knight guarding it. And his aggro range is extremely short, so he doesn't attack me right now. And we have some Ember Herb, or herbs, whatever. And the Grand Lance, which is a pretty good weapon. Right here, these are the stats. Best lance in the game, I would say, I think. And the moveset is quite limited, but it's extremely strong. And if you like lance builds, then you might want to upgrade this thing. Produce the symbol of the king. We don't have the symbol of the king, which is a ring. We don't have that yet. But the message pops up every time we approach one of these doors. Quite good. Like, the damage of this thing is insane already without upgrading it. What is this again? Counter strength, and this is poise damage, okay. Quite the high counter damage number. But I don't know what counter damage per se is. Is it when you perform a critical attack, like when you riposte or backstab? Or is it when you hit the enemy while he is attacking, or while he is in a vulnerable state? Like counterattacks in the sense of Dark Souls 1 luring, and then with poke attacks, whatnot. If this was too confusing, I'm sorry, but there's a difference between a counter attack and a critical attack, or I'm calling them critical attacks now. For this area, you need a torch, because otherwise it's just very dark, and for some reason your character is glowing like, well, like whatever, like a Christmas tree. This tells me that this is artificial darkness. They just cranked down the whatever. Funny enough, if you're using the torch, then you're no longer glowing, really. And yes, there are skeletons here. Let me light that one. And these are skeletons that don't stand up, which is nice. They have a resurrection mechanic of skeletons here, but it's working differently. You need the summoners need to perform a specific move that summons their skeletons. It's not like in Dark Souls 1 where they're getting periodically resurrected automatically as long as their summoner is alive. But this area was part of the gameplay demo that they showed, because what they've done is they prepared some gameplay and then they talked over it, like the developers, and this was part of their gameplay demo or showcase, where they still had the other graphic or a different graphic system, where the game looked honestly better just because of lighting. The textures were worse or less detailed, let's say, but the lighting was better. And this was such a letdown that the lighting was terrible once the game released. So there was an NPC that we could summon inside. I'm not summoning them quite yet. I'm going to do this later, because I want to do something fun. But I need to be a bit quick here, so let me get rid of the enemies here. These structures are just, to be honest, these are not as bad here. They're fine, I guess. They're still a bit nonsensical, but still more believable than stuff we have already seen. And now, by the way, we're on the other side of this gate here that we've seen last episode. At least this building here, the storage building or whatever it is, with the strange room layout, has access to the inside. They kind of went overboard with the enemy placement here, with the 3 turtle dudes. It's a bit much, but you can somewhat easily manage them when you climb up this ladder inside, rather than this one. Because then you only have 2 on you at the same time, and it's a bit more manageable. You can use these barrels so that they hit the barrels and they explode, or you can throw firebombs to explode them yourself and deal big damage to the turtles. It's all possible. And it's manageable. But still a bit... It's a bit difficult. Not too difficult, but... And be careful, because when the turtles do their sideways swipe, like their horizontal swipes, they can send you flying over the wall and into the abyss. Let's summon Alphys. I quite like their new shade summons. Shades are smaller summon signs where the shade appears or disappears fairly quickly, just for a very short helping session for a difficult area or something. But this one is a mage. It has the light sorcery, so if you don't have any torches, then you can use him as a light source, and his spells are quite strong. He's also using hexes. He's using hexes and a bit of magic, that's what I want to say. I think this one is male. This one is chunky, definitely. Quite the chunky model. And I want to bring him to this area because of the invasion that happens here. Armorer Dennis. It's always fun to see them fight, I think. Come on, Alphys. Alphys versus Dennis. Let's go. Let's see who wins. Probably Dennis, but... let's see who wins. Ooh. Ooh. Dennis has a cool weapon because his weapon allows him to cast spells with the heavy attack. So his weapon doesn't have a normal heavy attack, but instead casts sorceries. But yeah, his sword deals quite a bit more damage than Alphys' staff. Even though this was a crystal spear, a crystal soul spear. Come on, don't lose aggro. Attack him. Keep going. Oh, he's cheating. Sadly, his drink doesn't heal him as much, and it's more like a heal over time effect rather than an instant heal or almost instant heal. No, I'm not your enemy, Dennis. Not yet. Why are you casting it? Come on, Alphys. I don't have that much time. But while these two are fighting, let's have a look at the rest of this area, shall we? We have here there's a big chasm that for some reason exists here. Also due to the invasion? Who knows? I don't. And then there's this strange wall piece that is connected to nothing with this weird corridor. Let's have a look at this actually, because this is very weird. There's no door here, so how are you supposed to get on top of these walls? It's very strange. And then this wooden platform, why does this exist? You can just put all of this over at this part, like down here. But I guess it makes it more interesting to look at. Definitely looks more interesting, even though it's quite useless. How are you two doing? Both at half health, okay. Here we have a bonfire that is rather... That's not completely... Excuse me. Let me through. Hello. Oh, don't trap me between each other. Don't do that. This bonfire feels kinda useless. But it's not really. Oh, that was a new spell. Because here we have this giant. And we can pick up seeds of a tree of giants. Or seeds of tree of giants. And these seeds are... I think they got nerfed very hard. But what they're doing is you can activate them. And then for a certain amount of time, the effect is active. And the effect lets enemies attack invaders. So the invader is at a major disadvantage. But yeah, I think Alphys is slowly losing the fight. Ooh. Good fight. And he's even emoting. Haha. He doesn't know I'm here. Oh, he knows. Okay, let's get rid of him. But he killed Alphys after 10 minutes or so. 5 minutes? Something like that. But yeah, these, I think the seeds respawn every few invasions or so when you are getting, I don't know. I don't know what the what? How this mechanic works. I don't know how this works. But I think it has something to do with invasions. And I think now that I'm done with this part, we can meet the pursuer again, and I can talk about the mistake that I've made last time. With the chronolations and arrow slits at the same time on the same wall piece. Because I've said it's bullshit. And I still feel like it's both serve the same purpose. But at the same time they feel a bit obsolete to me still. I'm still the same opinion, but it's not bullshit again. I'm not educated in that, and they probably serve a slightly different purpose. They have an overlapping purpose, I get that, but there are different things you can do with them, and they might have different origins or something. Yeah, more rubble, please. More of that. Then it's believable, because I can still climb over that. I know we can finally gain access to walls over here. Not this one, sadly. Because here we have good correlations. Let's see if we have them over here as well. Yeah, that is nice. Okay. Let's get rid of him really quick. Where's this aiming at? This is a bit too high up for me. This height is nice. This one is a bit too high up. Kind of hard to... It's fine, I guess. But let's talk about these. Because this is still my problem. Just from a... First of all, they're facing a giant statue, so that's not doing anything. Just let's pretend the statue doesn't exist, right? And let's talk about this from a perspective of a person that has no idea what I'm talking about, because I didn't study castles, and I can just think about things. I don't know them, I just think, right? I just believe, I think what this is used for. First of all, these things are called correlations. The higher part are kernels, I think, or something, and these are... I forgot the name already, doesn't matter though. You have the high wall parts and the low wall parts, and I'm not talking about looks, or they might be intimidating because it looks like teeth or something, doesn't matter. I've read this, not yesterday, two days ago or something, right after I edited, no, finished recording the other video, the past video. But it feels a bit nonsensical to me, because these big parts are, for me, the cover. You take cover from the enemy. Then the small parts are like, you can engage the enemy in combat, right? With bow and arrow, by throwing stuff. Maybe there is a ladder that's docked onto your wall and they're trying to climb up, and I don't know, you can try and push this ladder away with a stick or something, I don't know. But you can interact with the enemy here, and this is for cover. For maybe reloading, whatever, I don't know. Yeah, reload your bow or your crossbow, I guess, is feasible. But then you have an arrow slit here, so this cover becomes a bit more unsafe all of the sudden, because, well, it's a bit unlikely. It's more likely to get hit by an arrow or by a projectile from here than it's from here. Sure, there's more surface area from you sticking out, and it's quite hard to hit a slit like this from down there while you're also getting shot or whatever, right? But still, it's possible to get shot through that gap. It is a possibility. Slim one, but it is a possibility. And it's more likely to get shot from here, of course. There's more of you sticking out. But what I think is that you either want to have either crenellations, which is a bit more risky, I would say, or arrow slits, or at least in the case of this example here, make these parts with the arrow slits. First of all, make the arrow slit a bit slimmer. Right, it feels quite exposed here. Make them a bit slimmer, maybe not too much, but an arrow needs to fit through there. Maybe an arm, I guess, but that's it. And then make this part here where you have cover. Make this a bit broader. I guess that would be my idea. But apparently this is something that people build in real life, and while I still can question it, I can't question the existence. It existed, and I wasn't informed of that. To be honest, I wasn't even looking, but still, could be better in my opinion. And then you have these things here, right? Something overhanging. You could make the platform upstairs where you can stand on a bit broader than the wall itself, and put small holes in there, and then you have murder holes where you can, when the enemy is right underneath you, usually, if it's just a straight as wall, you can't reach them without like extending over the wall itself and potentially falling down or getting shot. You don't want that. But then you have small holes in there where you can drop stuff down, shoot through or whatever to hit the enemy that is hiding right next to the wall. But enough of that. Let's encounter the pursuer again, this time with a cutscene. He is back. And it's the same one, because if you kill him on the other position, then you won't encounter him over here. Then you won't see this cutscene. This arena is a bit more forgiving than the other one. First of all, there are no enemies in here, except for the pursuer. And you also have a few ballistas. And what you can do is run to the ballistas. Let's see if I manage it, or I fucked up here. I fucked up here. You can destroy them, by the way. Let's see if I managed to do it. I don't know how it works here. Is it stuck here? Yeah, the sound effect is stuck here. Let's see, how do I need to trap it in some sort of animation here. That's just a single swing. Nah, I don't care. There's a way of getting him to stand in front of that. And I'm not doing it right now. Because quite frankly, I like to parry him a lot more. But I can't right now, I guess. I can't parry his attacks because because I have no hitbox right now. How much HP do they have? I won't die already. Thank you. Oh, the first one was just a stagger. Oops. But yeah. Oh my god. Anyways. Ring of Blades. Awesome ring, by the way. Increases physical attack. This one gives plus 10 damage. Which is not that much, but sadly, in my opinion, there are +1 and +2, and I think also, is there a +3 one? There are +1 and +2 versions of certain rings, and maybe +3, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. At least you have an incentive to go into New Game Plus, because you can only obtain them in later New Game Plus cycles. But I don't like the idea of having an item that becomes or a ring that becomes obsolete, because it's getting outclassed by the same ring just with a +1 to it. I feel that is a I just don't like that. It feels artificial, it doesn't feel good to me. But we're almost done with this area here. Almost. There's another tree here that we could interact with. Alright. That's what I was seeing. There was a soldier sprinting past me down there. Underneath us, there was a room. Well, there is a room. I was wondering who that was. And usually there is a soldier or 2 soldiers again attacking this one, but they ran off somehow. They got triggered by something and they ran off. There's a thing that you can do here with the nest. I will do this next episode. Probably. But what I'm doing now is I'm jumping down here, because here we can obtain quite a good armor set and a good shield. One of the first 100% physical block shields. And looks quite good too. You will see quite a lot of new players running around with that. And a new armor set as well. The Drangleic one. Without the helmet. There is no helmet here. But looks quite good too. But if you're wearing this in multiplayer, everyone knows you are, or assumes you are, a new player. Which is fine, of course. You can trick them into thinking that you are a new, but that you don't know what you're doing. But then in reality you do know what you're doing, and you fuck them up. But yeah, we are already at 1 hour, so I was right to split this episode in half, or split this area into 2 episodes. Next one will be Heights Tower of Flame, I think. I should be able to do this in one swoop. And then the one after that, the No Man's Wharf, or however you pronounce that. And also, after that, the area that lies beyond this nest, that I will explore next episode, just a tiny bit. But yeah, I hope you had fun. If you know... I like these crenellations, because they don't have arrow slits. Ah, never mind. If you know more about arrow slits and crenellations at the same time, why not write it down into the comments? Because I don't know jack shit about that, apparently. I made a mistake. But yeah, I hope you had fun, and I see you in the next episode. Goodbye.